All right. Hey, everybody. Chris Steele,
And Richard Learmont.
and we're here with some enlightening conversations.
Yay.
I'm Chris Steele, and Richard and I have chosen to get together because we kind of appreciate each other's company and we seem to draw each other out. My background is I'm a business effectiveness guy, business consultant, trainer, and facilitator, focused on doing what it takes to help businesses be more successful.
And I'm Richard Learmont, and I'm a guide, a life coach, and working with the Human Design System here to help people understand how things are shifting in this world and how we can best navigate it through this incredible system to help us do business and get along with each other.
And I think what really pulled us together, Richard, was we've known each other for a few years, and I was really impressed over what you do, as you talk about your solutions and by design and how you have this ability to kind of read into people and read into things. And um, there's a lot of podcasts and a lot of solutions out there, a lot of people doing things, webinars and everything. And what you and I agreed to do is come together and just kind of create a space, kind of an essence, and let things play out the way they are. And we have some topics we're going to talk about, but I think the real value, Richard, especially these days, is to be kind of authentic and raw and real. And I find that when you and I talk, some really enlightening solutions are concluded. And I think we're doing this to be able to maybe help other people see them as well, right?
I totally agree with you. Yeah, and since it's been a natural flow, it just happened naturally how this all came together. It was no planning; it just felt really good, and it's like let's just give it a try. And so yeah, I love it very much. And
And
we go ahead.
I was going to say, and so I think today we're going to be talking about kind of talk about business, right? So here we are in business. You're a businessman. I'm a businessman. We've got our businesses, got our brands,
Hmm.
and everything. And you mentioned the platform. This Zoom platform is great, right? It's bridging so many gaps. We entered
Hmm.
the pandemic months ago at this point, coming up on 6 months ago, that we're all in this social isolation, mask wearing culture. And Zoom has bridged so many gaps. And one of the things I like about it is that you can put yourself in any environment you want to put yourself into. So
Oh yeah, indeed.
I've chosen my virtual background. You can see it's a green screen, right? But it's there. And then you got
Yes.
yours as well.
We
So,
have mine too.
yeah.
And what I like about it is it's all somehow related to direction. Which direction are we going? As you can see with my arrows there, this all came up serendipitously to how we both came to this, and now it seems to be like a kind of a theme thing that we're working with, and it feels really good. And in today's business, it's just for sure. It's really difficult for people to business leaders who quite get a grasp on which direction to go because the world has virtually stopped and everyone's trying to regroup and remodel things to rebrand and find out which direction things are going or which direction they want to go. It's a whole new time and it's quite fascinating. I'd love to really dive deeper into into what this is all about.
So it's funny. I know I created my business. I actually created my entity, right? So when you create a business, for me, I mean, business is as my mentor Tony Robbins used to say, business is the ultimate spiritual game. It's conveying value, right? So in business, we're all conducting some sort of a business in this economic society we live in. It's a global economy, and everybody's providing value. And there's value exchange. There's you provide value, and then there's exchange back, typically in the form of money, or these days it's not money, it's not paper money, it's digits, right? So in
Hmm.
that context, from my perspective, here we are providing value. And I mean, I've been providing value all my life. I started my first business when I was 15 years old, selling, mowing lawns, and then I was selling newspapers. And I junior achievement. I got into junior achievement when I was a kid, and we sold spice ropes. That was wonderful. So I learned about
Okay.
business at a young age.
Hmm.
So for me, business is something that I kind of feel like I was put here to do. So I created my first entity about 15 years ago. It's an S corp, right? And as business people, we got to figure out what we're here to do, what value we're here to provide, and it's unique to the individual, right? It's as unique to the character and the culture of the human as the business culture is, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I like to say the same thing. A similar thing is that the world is a business. It really is. Everything we're doing, including a marriage. A marriage is a form of a business in a way. It's an agreement that, you come into, saying like when you have business partners, we come into these agreements, and everything that we're doing, it's about how we can progress together, how we can make more money together, how we can find better ways of, of sharing resources and uh, ideas so that we can better ourselves, help other people, make more money, you know, have a better life. So yeah, the world is the business. It's all about how we navigate that.
So,
And
so let's talk about. I want to play off something you just said. You know,
mhm.
so in business, we're here to provide value, and you're right. I think a big component of business success is to make more money, right? So we live in a capitalistic society. We all want to make more money. You know, we want to, have the freedom and financial independence and all that comes with it. But putting it on the table, is business all just about making money? I mean, what are your thoughts on that in the context of
That's a
got to
great
make money, but
question.
what's business about?
That's a great question. I mean, essentially, yeah, business is about making more money. You know, it's about how much, yeah, being able to have resources, so that you can live a decent life, pay for the things that you need to pay for, help other people, at least for me. And I think, yeah, in general, that's what business is about. But, it's not in and of itself, the whole life, because there's interaction as well. And how we interact with people is a huge part of it. And from what I can see, that how businesses have gone in the past, it's just gone so much into just the numbers that it forgot about the people aspect of it, and we've lost ourselves in the world of money and just making money, and forgotten about the other part of what can we do with this money, and how we can better the world in essence. And so yeah, things have gone off.
Yeah.
It's just the focus has been predominantly on money, and forgotten the other life qualities of relating,
Yeah.
the
And as
human
I
relating.
process this, as I kind of marinate in this one, I mean, money is an indicator of success. And, in certain circles, if you look at shareholder value and value of a business on the stock exchange and everything, it's the indicator of success, right? It's the valuation of a business. But I'm going to kind of defer back to from my perspective, it's an indicator of success. And I
Hmm.
don't want to mitigate the value of top line revenue, bottom line profit. It's really important we have that. But from my
Absolutely.
perspective, business, I don't know. I mean, business for me is about fulfillment, right? And if and you mentioned it, we live in a society today where there's this, I call it the greed motive. People are just driven by the almighty dollar, and all they want to do is make more, and more is never enough, right?
Hmm.
So how do we balance the need to have enough in an economic society with the need to be fulfilled and live a fulfilling life in the context of business?
That's a huge question as well. And I think this quality of this greed and this need for more, it's something, it's a drive that we have. We're always seeking to be better. We're always seeking for more. To after we've arrived at some achievement, there's always another step. There's always more to go for, to go towards. And so that's always going to be there. um, the greed part of it, it's the human part. I mean, it's about the personal growth aspect to it, that one needs to develop. And some people may develop it in this lifetime, some may not. um, so it's really hard to say. But I'm noticing more and more people having reached a certain level of financial achievement, and and recognizing, yeah, there's something else, inside that they would like to connect with, that is a deeper aspect of themselves, and how they relate to other people, how they relate to the world. That personal development aspect, which is not related to money strictly. I mean, and money and the achievement of having success and financial and material success is an aspect of feeling really good with yourself, yes,
It's a
but
form
it's
of
not the whole
fulfillment,
thing.
right?
Yeah, it's an aspect of it here on this earth plane for sure. It makes life a little smoother and easier, a lot smoother and easier. So it's not to be um, disregarded, but it's important, but it's not the most important thing also.
So playing off kind of what our conversations have been focused on over the years, And I like to think that that essence is captured here, kind of playing off the essence of the human element in business, right? You know, until computers take over, you know, humans are going to be the ones operating business, right? So fulfillment, right? The indicator of success through making money, right? Um, at the same time, from my perspective, especially these days, as you look at the nature and the reality of business these days, we live in a divided world. You know, you could look at all the political division and people arguing that this is the right way. No, no, my way is the right way. So everyone wants to be right, right? And so therefore somebody else has to be wrong. So as I apply that into the context of business, it's back to, you know, back to the motives that drive us as humans, you know, whether it be the greed motive, and there's nothing wrong with wanting more, but if you come from a place of scarcity, then I think there might be a challenge in that context. You could get corrupt in like in a greedy way. And there's also, you know, the ego. The component is we all want to look good in business, right? You know, and there's a shadow
Uh-huh.
to that, right? If your ego drives you because you just want to be better than other people, you know, and then that
Yeah.
creates a little different discussion too, you know. And then of course power, right? We want to have power,
Hmm.
but you can very easily overpower other people, which we're seeing a lot these days. People are
Hmm.
putting, you know, overpowering the competition, putting other people out of work. How's this resonating with you in the context of your perspective, the by design, as we as human beings apply ourselves and our capabilities to business? How do we work it these days?
Well, by design is the name of my business, and it by design consulting, and what it relates to is that we're all designed to come into fulfillment. This was your question. Um, in various ways, you know, we're all different. We have very different ways in how we're here to meet with this fulfillment in this life, and in very unique ways. And so when we follow these specific sort of ways of approaches to meeting with with success, with meeting with, you know, the satisfaction that we're here to encounter in this life through how we come in contact with other people, how we make money, and in specific, um, I don't know. I kind of got lost myself. You know, I'm gonna have to chop this off, okay?
That's all good. So empowering people,
But
making money, you know.
um, um, we're designed to make money in ways that's unique to each and every one of us, and most people that, you know, in this world we come into this scarcity thinking. I mean, the world is filled with this, you know, and so there's always this not enough based on the way the system's been designed. When I say the system, the the monetary system has been designed to really, you know, keep some people on the top and most of them on the bottom, working for the ones on the top. And and so there is it's built in into the system, the scarcity sort of approach. And you know, it's in the system, so it's most people are going to have that issue because it's already built in. But for you to step out of it, it's, you know, it's going to take some work. And so this study in human design and this work that shows us our unique approach to meeting with this fulfillment, meeting by being able to really have the needs that we need in this world, you know, the financial needs, the resources that we need to have in order to be successful and to have a family, to, if that's what we want to have all of the material needs that we're seeking. Um, there's a way to go after that and approach that with the least amount of resistance. And so not everyone's necessarily meant to be a millionaire or a billionaire, but everyone, you know, it's in the air, whether that's, you know, to be a millionaire, to be a billionaire, you know, everyone's kind of rushing and fighting, and, you know, and it creates this distortion in how people are going about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a different way for you, you know, to really meet with fulfillment and have all of the sustenance and have all of the resources that you need to live a happy life.
Right. So, okay, so needs. So as human beings, we have needs, right? There's different perspectives on needs, right? Maslow, put it really well. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Most people know what that is, right? And you start off at the bottom of his pyramid with the psychological needs, or I'm sorry, physiological needs, which is air, water, food, shelter, clothing, sleep, right? So we got to get those needs met, right? And a lot of people will say that, well, once you do business and those needs are met, then the needs are met, right? But then you get to the next level of the pyramid, which is safety needs. And that's personal security, employment, resources, health, prosperity. So that's the next level up of needs. And, okay, well, are those needs enough? Well, maybe they are. And, but there's another level. The next level up on Maslow's hierarchy is love and belonging, right? Which is friendship, intimacy, family, sense of connection. And notice how the needs are getting more exclusive and more, they're getting more, there's more energy around the needs, and hey, if you've got those needs, is that good enough? Well, maybe. But there's another level. There's esteem. Maslow says the fourth level on the pyramid is respect, self-esteem, status, recognition, strength, and freedom, right? Oh, I got those needs met. Is that good enough? Oh, no, there's still yet one more level in Maslow's hierarchy, which is self-actualization, which is the desire to become the most that one can be. And it's funny, since you brought up the word needs, I figured I'd unpack it and talk about, Maslow in one context. When is a need ever enough, right? Because I know that in my life, one of the things I like about you is I think that we're operating from a place of self-actualization. At least you are, Richard. I think I am too, because I'm always striving for more. As you mentioned on one of our last discussions, you're a seeker, right? What is a seeker? You're striving for more. You're striving for heightened levels of self-actualization. But I guess the key is that, and this is good for business, at what level of need fulfillment do you stop applying yourself or stop engaging the business because that need has been met? What are your thoughts?
Well, it's a personal thing, first of all. It's very personal. And it's a really good question. At what point does it stop? I mean, who says it has to stop? You can keep going, you can keep going, but the thing is, what do you do with it? How do you, at some point, are you helping others in ways that's really, really benefiting the community, benefiting the world, or is it you just filling up your coffers and sticking this money in offshore accounts just to have more and more and more, just to feel powerful? I mean, when we look deeper down and to see what's the reasons behind, why people do things, I mean, that's kind of what we have to look at, But knowing when enough is enough is a deep personal thing. When you've had enough, and when you reach that place, then basically, your service is kind of like a role model. How can you help other people so that you can, help the world in that way?
So I'm kind of coming to a conclusion here, at least in the context of this conversation, because as I'm thinking and as we're talking, Richard, my mind is kind of processing as all good minds do, right? And I'm thinking about the levels of success and how we define success, right? And you got the four, the four, which is Apple, Google, Amazon, and Facebook. Those are the four. There's a book that's been written called The Four about those four companies, around how they're the four companies that drive success in our society, the way success is defined. But at the same time, how are they contributing? How are they? Is it authentic? And that's, I think, what we need to confront as business leaders, business owners, people that are, they're committed to making a difference in business, as I hope we all are, is that how are we giving back? How are we providing value holistically? I mean, you could say that Jeff Bezos has created a great business. Amazon rocks, right? And what's he doing with that wealth, right? I'm not here to judge or even to project. We always have to stop short of that, Don't judge and project other people's situation, but use them as models, right? So what is he doing in that from a business model perspective? And that's his decision. That's his choice. That's his business, right? So
Absolutely.
as we process business, it's our choice as to determine what level of need we want to have fulfilled in business. And
And that
again,
I don't know what he's doing with his,
well,
personally, I have no idea. I mean, there's all kinds of, conspiracy theories out there about these mega companies, what they're doing, and for control of people and control of. I mean, what they're actually doing, they're providing an incredible service for humanity. It's we've progressed with Google incredibly. Without Google today, all of the information that we have, without the iPhone, to capture all of the things that we're able to capture that's been hidden from us. It's amazing that it's progressed our communities, and it's moving things along beautifully. What's behind it? I mean, I on that level of business, it's way beyond what I can possibly imagine. Me personally, it's not something I would like to even be a business owner, owning such a huge, conglomerate to be responsible for. I'd rather be helping people through, in the personal development sense, and helping them find their own direction, and groups of people. But it's sort of like, it's my path. It's not my calling to be on that end of the next Bezos or you know Steve Jobs. You know what I mean? They do a great job of what they're doing, and uh, what they're doing with their wealth, which is what we started talking about, is hopefully they're doing things as well that's not just to fill up their coffers, and also do personal good for people, helping people in a personal sense, and not just making money off of people. I don't know if that really makes sense, and that answers your question.
right, right. And again, it's funny as we kind of consider this, are we here to make money off people, or are we here to provide value to people? And if that value is exchanged with commensurate financial value to us, you know, are we here to make money, or are we here to provide value? So once we make money, how are you continuing to provide value with that money? And I guess honestly, the conclusion here, from my perspective, Richard,
Hmm.
it's an individual choice, right?
Absolutely.
As
And what's your
individual
what's
leaders,
your
we get to
response to the
choose
same question? In terms of,
of value,
yeah.
value provision.
But before that, you ask about Bezos and.
Yeah, well, so yeah, the conclusion from my perspective is it's his business. He had the
Mhm.
he had the courage to take the risk to create a business. And you and I both know
Mhm.
creating a business is not necessarily the easy path, right? Being an entrepreneur is a tough road, right? But he did it, and he went out and he created in essence, and he surrounded himself by good people. He did what needed to be done. I don't know him personally, so I don't know where his heart is in that context. But I mean, my hat goes out to anybody who takes the risk, operates within the law, pays their taxes, right? You got to pay the taxes, right? Um, and gives back and provides value in whatever way they do it. And I guess the key is that back to judgment. Who am I to judge whether or not somebody's doing that right or wrong or appropriately? I guess I could probably judge based on morality, and if they're actually doing something that's, I believe, is conscious and making a difference in that context. But as people, we have to stop short of that, and recognize that the gears of business are going to turn in our society, and they're turning in unique ways these days, as they always have. So I really admire anybody who takes the risk and goes out there and does it. And then if they provide value and you want to pay for that value, then go for it. And if you don't, that's your choice too. And realizing as an entrepreneur, it's anybody's choice to be able to engage value in your solutions or not, right? So provide value. And if you're not, reconsider what you're doing.
Yeah, I also see that that today's business models, it's changing. The way business as we know it is changing rapidly, and things are breaking down. And that old paradigm of making money aspect, and yes, providing value, but with the intention of making money, which is what business is about. but forgetting about the people aspect and just making money off of people. This is, I mean, most of these massive conglomerates, they pay very low wages in order to, have such massive successes, money wise. And so, I mean, we see this disparity in the world today. It's a huge problem here where they're living on minimal wages in order to, and inflation is rising crazy, and people have to make ends meet. You look in New York City and you say, you see all these people getting, under $15 an hour. I don't know how they do it, and they struggle to make ends meet. And then you have the other end of that where people are making massive amounts of money off of them. And so there's something wrong with that sort of equation in our society today. Yes, they provide in value, but at the same time, there's something off because, they have massive amounts of money to spend on, and they spend it on all kinds of silly things. They got their yachts, and then these people down here, they're struggling to pay their rent. They're struggling to feed their babies, and and there's something about that's not working.
Okay. All right. So what I'd like to do is we're gonna put a bookmark in the conversation right now. I like talking about breaking down, and we're gonna talk about that the next time we get together.
That sounds great.
Until then, folks, if you want to have a conversation, there's access information in the comments. I know we're deploying this via different modalities, but reach out to us. We'd love to have a conversation.
What's your website again?
gpsbusinessgroup.com. It's www.gpsbusinessgroup.com, and there it is. And yours, Richard?
I'm richardlearmont.com. It's my name, richardlearmont.com.
All right, great. Until next time.